And round when it comes to men and women that were taken down to police station to confess to crimes that they did not commit. And you know, there is only 117 wardens. I would like to correct that. 100 plus men and women taken down to police station to confess to crimes that the evidence, it is 54 degrees and it is Chicago. And you know, on this Wednesday, many people across the, I say trick, and there's your treat. Oh, let me tell you, guess what? And let me tell you what change looks like to me to, behind the prison wall and not having an opportunity and a slow process to gain any form of justice. Torture survivor who basically had to file a commission and to state that claim that he was innocent of violent crimes, which is located, by the way, 39. When people pass a juvenile intervention, people need to view that for what it is. Dark chapter, a dark history in the African American and Latino people lives to crimes that they did not commit. You know, I remember I was taken to back in 1981 and I was tortured at the age of 16 years old. So, you know, now today, yes, it brings memories, but it also reflects this is a memorial, dark history in the lives of as well as women that were taken down to 11th. But yes, you know, Gerald Reed was taken down to Area 3 violent crimes and he was questioned by two detectives, one being Michael Keel and the other one being Detective Briscoe. Keel, in this particular case, played the role as a good cop. Uh, is someone that has testified in open 900 different complaints of conduct. So let me tell you, we are, guess what? We hear this stuff and we let it come, not really looking at the fact of all the lives that are being destroyed as the result of this negative behavior. That's what change looks like. And when change stops looking like us, then something we're doing wrong. People don't want to hear that truth. Gerald Reed has been stuck inside the Department of Corrections for a total of 28 years of his life, for over 29 years of his life. Think about that. 29 years of your life is down the drain based off that was obtained because of torture. People lost their lives in a crime in Chicago, and the integrity of justice of crime amount to a crime itself. But we put trust and faith into a police department that failed us. So today, Gerald Reed Wednesday, Gerald Reed testified inside of the interrogation room, and Detective Brisker, and basically beating him to confess to a crime. We've seen, ladies and gentlemen, time and time and time again, millions and millions of dollars. Guess what? We, they love it. It's errors and mistakes and accountability But guess what? As I see my little rabbit ears out of place, what better life can you have? Act in the book. But your actions don't consequence because to bail out who committed crimes against innocent citizens. Mm-hmm. Read, he testifies and he basically explains how he was taken to this interrogation room and what to him. You know, how much more can this occur? Did the city with the state of Illinois and its judiciary system to destroy black? Too many cases like this. And here it is, putting on a prosecution, Thomas Gaynor. And guess what? The judge. Now as elections wind down, Crook County. They call it Cook, but in vote. I'm talking about you got to start planting the seeds. We can't do it. I'm saying we can do it, but we got to do it in unity to gain justice. It's not to convict Gerald Reed. All of the witnesses have basically testified in that he's actually innocent and his claim actually being what? He was tortured. You heard from a expert doctor for a long time and then went on into the private sector like Gerald many years ago. Mm-hmm. This doctor was milking the cow, I will say, with adequate medical attention. However, because of the lack of dealing with prisoners and the lack of regard for human life behind these jails and prisons, prevented it. So Gerald, torture survivor, that on a massive exoneration of multiple different brothers and sisters that find themselves in conflict. I don't know. Do know is based off of he's innocent. Innocent. 100% innocent. Mm-hmm. So we are people that we listen to this stuff, and when imagine if you had to be locked inside an interrogation room on October the 3rd of 19. Imagine what you would do. False. Oh man, none of them guys ever get out. You're wrong. They do. And Gerald Reed, in my opinion, is someone that the criminal justice system, looking at my situation, being a young-year-old kid, and then, you know what, really, the system, they ignored what I had to say. They ignored what Khalif Browder had to say. They have ignored what Marcus Wiggins had. They're the Olin brothers out of Chicago, Illinois. See, so many young kids victimized and come on. And they sent Johnny Savory through hell and hell and hell and hell and hot water. And despite the fact that Johnny Savory has been out, over 10 years, integrity in it. And the point of us coming together is that we gotta come together. Gerald Reed, based off of it. Same is true for George Anderson or Antonio Nicholas. Same is true for James Gibson. Same is true for Tony Anderson. Same is true for Stanley. It's also true, guess what? In the cases of using common sense with this stuff. They not. Here it is, you try to tear your sister down. Who the real crooks are. The system. Of the police department, but we call him the police department. because we were ignorant as to the damage that the police would do. You know, I think about a Stephen Watts was in his own basement. Challenge child from Calumet City, meaning he was artistic. And when no training, they their response is not to call the ambulance, and they killed a man. They killed this child. So guess what? That means the Watts family is out of a son. Calling the police and doing this and doing that and tearing down our brothers. Don't look at it. I think it was my own self in being in a surreal Brian Banks lie. And want me to tell you, they lie so good, they'll have you believing they lie. Detectives like Detective Brisker, and they sit back. He sits back and says, look what they doing to each other. We didn't call them, they called us. We just came and we did the situation. That's what they say in the courtroom. Say, well, listen here, the crime until little Tim come in, and little Tim told us who did it. What they failed to mention is that having based off of shady information that were being fed to them. And I'm not saying this is what has happened. Little old lady peep out a window, see the kids over there smoking. Tell you what she do is she called the cops. Cops come. Cops feel like they want to shoot somebody. Then they just tell the police. Was a gun recovered? Oh yeah, surely one was recovered. From the suspect? Yes, from the suspect. Then it gets released to the public. They eating it up. Can I have some more? It's in everything. Everything. So the mayor actually income a property tax. Okay, so people are like, well, damn, he voted against it. Yes, he's going to vote against it. Now he getting ready to go into the private sector. Going into the private sector, guess what? No booty of the people no more, nor of the politicians anymore. You looking at he gone. So he ain't gonna take away his 2 pennies. Right now he's doing the boogeyman walk. Right now, because of the city of Chicago is the greatest I've ever seen. Time, ladies and gentlemen, they played out event inside of a courtroom in the city of Chicago. And these were convictions that many, many, many years ago. I'm talking about the case of Virgil Robinson, then you're looking at a case that over 40 years old. You're looking at a case that is almost 50 years old. It don't even make common sense. But guess what? Because they were able and to provide swelling words and prosecutors, okay? The jury, they lost from is testifying or doing the time when there is some type of lab technician, this type of stuff. But back in the day, man, in them 70s, look at Pam Fish, what she did. She was responsible for so Nolans, Omar Sanders, and just so many young men, their lives have been ruined as a result of these bogus detectives who have paid us. The money is coming out of the cigarette and alcohol tax. I don't care if it's against a cell phone tax. So now we are in a time of people know the truth, but a lot of people ain't. Tommy get caught, and they take little Tommy down and do the same. He was just walking. Well, what they say, he got lost on his way to grandmama's house. Now he find himself in a police station with a ring attached to the wall called niggas at will. Now a few of those MF words and having the genitals and testicles grabbed and squeezed. They used a cattle prong and they injected it. Tell me how in the heck this stuff can be frame was put on all this stuff. What they say the statute of limitations. So people, we got to keep our eyes on the prize, but that have asked for a update in the Gerald Reed case, well, you can watch a fireplace, you nice and cozy. Whatever you doing, you nice and cozy. So in a nutshell, this is what I am somewhat thinking as a guy. I think either tomorrow or Friday, sit on this case for a total of 60 to 90 days before you got to type it up, you got to prepare it and read it out in the 90 days to do this. Once that opinion is released, Gerald Reed's confession is tossed. It don't is a post-conviction proceeding, and a post-conviction proceeding what he is to be deemed inadmissible, that members of the Chicago Police Department and had this torture not been in crime. So that's the importance of that. It's going to take some time. You know, this is not no quick process like what most people are this to be. This is not a quick process. This is a process, in my opinion, that will run Gerald's life for the next 2, 3 years before it can reach. This is what's happening. Once the judge makes a decision, trial, that new trial don't just start over and a half to prepare it. Motions will be filed, and it'll take anywhere from, I would say, 6 before rulings are made in the pre-trial. Then, therefore, forward to either a jury. Now, on the other hand, if the petition is dismissed, then that would mean the Gerald Reed then would have to file a petition in the appellate court. He will then therefore raise that his rights were violated and why the ruling from 18 months to 30 months. So I'm just trying to let you see how this is played out. Therefore rules in Gerald Reed's favor and become bond eligible. It don't mean that and becoming bond eligible, it always generally takes moving forward with mobilization. The mobilization in these particular type of judge, as well as the city of Chicago for that is inflicted upon them through acts of social media, through they normally don't want to deal with that, and they would just simply go. So the work is not done. It looks very, very, very promising for Gerald, because I really 100% innocent, but he was just given a ban. In closing, one thing I would like to make a lot of work to be done. A lot of work. Torture is a crime, but if you don't understand that it's a crime, then there's no opposition against it. And what you permit as a people, keep going on and on and on. Say enough is enough. When do we, the people, say, well, guess what? And I'm not going to put up with it no more. Suckers. So people don't want to deal with the stuff. Is you got to fight. And this is serious business. Stand when to get. Worked on a petition on the behalf of Ben for quite some time in his life. So, I say free Gerald Reed. I say that Gerald Reed should be given opportunity. Should be given opportunity. Guess who it rests upon? Right? If we don't understand that we're the people, then how can we be the people? Think about that. People, but if we don't recognize it, then guess what? on every level. Criminal rights were created for us, many people who want to try to seek the law on people for lots of them. Trust me, I know. For her great testimony yesterday, to everyone that has played a part in his fight. Information, if you like, the Chicago Torture Justice Center, a center that was provided in wake of the torture reparation. The other one called for a memorial. Well, the Chicago Torture Chicago don't want to shell out the bucks. With that being said, posed within the center, but we're asking for people to still come aboard. And if you would simply call 773-9395. Once again, 773. You can ask for Gina, and one of them will assist you. And I want to bring out that, some of these old detectives that there's evidence now starting to surface that there wasn't a digging and digging and digging and digging and digging and digging and digging. But they get away. I say free Javan Deloney. Free Javan Deloney. Last night, Curtis Steen into the program. So, but Antonio Nicholas, oh my gosh. Carl Williams, sure, tortured. And guess what? He confessed. So we trying to make it look like Superman. They took kids down to the police station and they tortured them. So they could withstand something that we know clearly that we can't withstand. Said, well, he shouldn't have put himself in this predicament. I don't know what's wrong with that boy. They lied on him, hanged him like a slave. They called him every degrading and humiliating name is ever imaginable. When do this? Gerald Reed. Gerald Reed is still in the custody of the Illinois Department of Corrections, and he's fighting very, send some energy vibe through prayers. And Gerald Reed, free Gerald Reed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. But guess what? It is Halloween. So guess what? The trick is on you. Because they come knocking at your door talking about trick or treat. Watch out. Yeah.